Bonjour Lynbrook, c'est moi, Mademoiselle Louie, and I'm super excited to share with you today a recipe inspired by one of my favorite restaurants here in San Francisco, San Tung. This recipe is for fried chicken wings, and they are inspired by kind of northern Chinese, Korean cuisine, so they're sweet and they're salty and they're super crunchy and delicious, so I really hope you enjoy this, and bon appetit. Alright, so as you can see here, I have 3 pounds of wings defrosted, and that'll serve about 4 people. For the batter that we're going to deep fry them, we'll need about 1 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and we'll mix those two together with about 1 1/3 cup of water, and that'll make up our batter that we'll dip our wings into right before we fry them. Just want to make sure that your batter is whisked fairly well, it's not too lumpy, and you can see that the consistency here is pretty thick, which is just what we're looking for. So now that I have my batter prepped, I have about 2 inches of vegetable oil in a large pot, and I'm heating it to about 350 degrees Fahrenheit, somewhere between 340 to 360 is fine. And once it reaches temperature, we're ready to fry our wings. Woohoo! Here you can see we have finally reached 350 degrees, and now we're going to get our wings into the hot oil here. So I want to make sure to shake off any excess batter and gently put them in the oil, as you can see I'm doing here. And usually you don't want to overcrowd your pot. Here I have a 10-inch cast iron, so I usually put in about 6 to 8 wings per batch, and that way we can make sure that each wing gets a good even deep fry. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of my wings in here and double check on them in about 4 minutes, after which we'll give them a flip and cook them another 4 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 4 minutes, and you can see that the oil temperature might have gone down a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to make sure to give each of my wings a nice little flip so they cook evenly on every side. And you'll see the color start to turn golden brown, so that's looking good. And after about 4 more minutes, I will go ahead then and pull my wings out and put them on this draining rack. It's important to put them on a rack so that they drain properly and don't get soggy. So here you can see that I finished deep frying all of my wings, and what I would normally do is give them another fry so that they're double deep fried, meaning your wings have that extra crunch. And if you want to double deep fry your wings, you want to put them in 6 to 8 wings per batch for another 8 minutes in that hot oil, and you'll see that the batter gets even more crispy and more golden. If you don't have time to give a double deep fry, what you can do is take the wings on the rack here and pop them in the oven at 375 to 380 degrees for another 8 minutes, and you'll more or less get the same crunchy effect. The final and most important step, sauce. I have about 4 to 5 medium large cloves of garlic I've already chopped, and you can see here I've started working on about 2 inches of fresh ginger root. Super important that it's fresh, not powdered. One quick tip on technique: when you're chopping, you want to make sure not to keep your fingers flat out like you see there, because you might chop your fingertips off, so you want to round your fingers and use the first knuckle as kind of a way to guide the blade of your cleaver so that it's chopping just your food and not your fingertips. So here you can see I'm just slicing my ginger root, and I'm going to finish slicing that here. And then once you have all of your ginger root sliced, you're going to go ahead and maybe stack 2 to 3 slices and now julienne them. So julienne means you're just slicing that into even thinner strips like you see here. And I'm going to keep slicing my ginger until all of my fresh ginger root is julienned, and then we're ready to go. Alright, so here you see I have my ginger julienned and my garlic chopped. I have about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil in a hot pot here. I'm just adding my garlic and my ginger, and I'll make sure that they get some nice color, and you can start to smell the aroma. And that should take about maybe 30 seconds to a minute if you have your pot on medium to high heat for the garlic to start to kind of crisp up and brown, as you see here. And then the next step will be to add our sauces. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with my ginger and garlic. Now I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Just regular soy sauce is fine. And then to that I will add 3/4 of a cup of honey. The ratio is important, so it should be roughly 3 to 1 honey to soy. The end sauce should be pretty sweet with just a hint of that savory soy, so if it's too salty, just add a bit more honey, give it a taste, and then you're ready for the next step once you've got that balance. Alright, at this point my sauce is tasting pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and add about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, depending on how spicy you like it. And then I'm going to give that a good mix, and then to that I'll add the last ingredient, which is white pepper powder. Super important that you use white pepper, not black pepper. It's a different flavor profile. The white pepper will bring a little bit of heat to this, which is what we're looking for. I like a lot of heat, so I'm just going to add a lot of white pepper, give it a mix. Make sure to turn your temperature down. You can see here it'll start to foam, the sauce, because my temperature is too high, but that's okay. Just turn it down, let it cool off a little bit, and then you're ready to coat your wings. All right, Lynbrook, 加油, 加油, you're almost there. This is the final step. So here you can see I'm just mixing that beautiful sauce with my crispy wings. One key step that I forgot again in this video recipe is to double deep fry your chicken wings to get that batter nice and crispy. And again, if you don't have the time to do that, just pop your wings in the oven another 8 minutes to get that batter nice and crispy. When you're ready to serve, I like to have all this over a big bowl of rice, again with all that beautiful sauce on top. It's so delicious. I really hope you enjoy this recipe. Thanks so much for watching.